So this week I have seen the third episode of Daredevil Born Again, and it is a very, very unforgettable episode. There wasn't any fighting scenes in this episode. It was about the trial of Hector Ayala, aka White Tiger, and I knew that Hector Ayala was gonna die also like a year ago because there were lots of photos circulating around the internet, and I saw him getting killed by somebody with a Punisher logo. And I remember how confused I was when I saw that photo because I was thinking about why Punisher would kill another vigilante. And now that I understand more about the plot, I realized that it is possibly one of those corrupt cops who was using the Punisher logo to abuse their own powers. But what I really want to talk about today is the White Tiger, because I really like how they portrayed White Tiger in this episode, even though they didn't give him any fight scenes. So like I said, I knew that White Tiger was gonna die over a year ago, but even though I knew that he was going to die, I wasn't expecting myself to care for this character so much. I really like how the episode gets us to be invested in this case. Like, we really wanted to see Matt prove Hector Ayala's innocence and get him out of prison to get real justice for the White Tiger, only to have him be killed by a corrupt cop by the end of the episode. And you really feel this emptiness and shock and sadness when the credits are rolling and they started playing the beach sounds and the frog noises that Hector was talking about during his chat with Matt Murdock at the beginning of the third episode. I really like the new casts, with Officer Cherry helping Matt protect Nikki Torres, the key witness, and Kirsten McDuffie for helping Matt with this case because she kind of replaced Foggy Nelson as Matt's new partner. I know that there are some people who are not happy with them replacing Foggy and Karen, but I am very confident that they are probably just temporary replacements and will still remain as helpful additions in the future of the Born Again series. Because I know that Foggy is coming back for season 2 and Karen is confirmed to come back by the end of season 1, because the current few episodes that we have seen so far, except for episode 1, are the pre-overhaul episodes. So that means that the rest of the episodes after the pre-overhaul episodes are kind of the course correction to tie this series even better into the Netflix continuity. And I remember how Officer Cherry helped protect Nikki Torres and made sure that he gets to the court safely, only for Nikki Torres to lie under oath and say that he didn't meet these corrupt cops and completely ruin Matt's defense for Hector. And eventually you see Matt pulling off this very bold move of revealing the White Tiger's identity in front of the public, which completely caught his opponents and the judge off guard, because he knows that he will be able to use the public sentiment, the public sympathy toward the White Tiger to help prove Hector's innocence. And it actually worked, even though it came at a price, because Matt did tell Hector that he will not be able to wear that suit without putting himself in danger. And Hector did not listen. Hector is like, he's like a poor man's Black Panther. And also what happens when Uncle Ben himself is a superhero, because that is what his role is in the original comics. He did not exactly die a very glorious death either. He also got murdered in cold blood in front of the court, and in the show he got murdered on the streets, and his role was taken over by originally it was his niece called Angela, and later his sister called Ava Ayala, who is more like the definitive version of White Tiger. So basically, Hector is like the Jay Garrick of the White Tiger, and Ava Ayala is the Barry Allen, the more definitive version, even though she is not the first iteration. And I think what really left an impression on me with this episode is that we see in Hector and the White Tiger the reflection of Matt struggling to give up on his Daredevil identity. We see Matt giving up on his Daredevil identity, and he was trying to convince other vigilantes to do the same. But here you see an example of Hector not being able to give up on his identity because he believes that him and his vigilante alter ego are the same person, just like Matt Murdock and Daredevil are the same person and inseparable. And I don't think this episode is meant to discourage the main characters from being vigilantes. I think that's the main point of this episode, is for Matt to understand the sacrifices required for being a vigilante and whether that price is worth paying at the end of the day. And what happened with the White Tiger is kind of a consequence of Matt's giving up on his Daredevil identity, because no matter what they say, the New York City portrayed in this show is not in a condition that is safe just under the cops and the mayor's jurisdiction. There are lots of dangers, lots of crimes that will still rely on vigilantes to stop before people getting victimized by criminals on the streets. So I think that the purpose of killing off the White Tiger in this episode is to serve as another motivation for Matt to finally reclaim his Daredevil identity, because what they did by the end of the third episode is to set up Matt tracking down the Punisher and ask him to help him probably take down the corrupt cops, just those people who are responsible for the White Tiger's death. And that is another thing that I remember seeing in one of those leaked scenes about Matt finally donning the suit and working with the Punisher and putting the fingers in their ears. And I believe there is some very, very interesting fight scenes on the way. One other thing that I really loved about this episode is how Matt managed to get all these other people who was saved by the White Tiger to testify and help him in his defense. And when Matt asked Hector why he was willing to save Nikki Torres from the corrupted cops even though he did not have the amulet powers, and Hector repeatedly replied, because it was the right thing to do. And it was something that I find very inspiring, because that is what is missing from a lot of superhero movies and shows nowadays about saving people. And to be willing to put themselves in danger, sometimes sacrifice themselves to save those who needed help. This is something that I haven't seen in movies and television shows so far. This selflessness is very inspiring and also kind of rare. So that's about it. If you like my video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.